video content. In the world of podcasts, sometimes people like me who have a face made for radio, we just think, oh, well, we'll just record our voices. But something is changing here. We have the ability to record video. What's happening?
So video is coming onto more and more platforms. And at this point in time, when people are choosing these different platforms to be on, they're looking to see if video is there already or when it's coming. A lot of folks, for example, Ringmaster clients are already recording with video and repurposing and putting those videos on YouTube and making micro clips. And we see a lot of other interview podcasts doing that. But as video gets introduced onto more social platforms, and we've seen this happen in the past with all of these different new features that social platforms have introduced, when something new comes, the platform wants you to use it. And so they are going to prioritize. They are going to give extra favorable points in the algorithm to early adopters who jump on those new tools that they put out, because no one wants to put something out and have no users use it. So they incentivize using it for those early adopters. So you want to be an early adopter if you want to get those bonus points.
Tough call, right? Because you could be an early adopter into Twitter Spaces, and maybe it's here to stay, or a Clubhouse.
Yep.
Maybe you spend all your shekels on getting big in Clubhouse, and then it fizzles out soon thereafter. So it's a bit of a risk, but it sounds like you're getting rewarded, though you may not be able to realize it.
Definitely. And even if it doesn't end up taking off, even if one platform introduces video and it doesn't go anywhere, there's a certain comfort level to appearing on video and introducing it and stepping outside of that box and getting some good micro clips out of what you do and being able to repurpose that.
It's almost the point where if you're a podcaster and you don't record video, it's probably not worth recording anything, because the future is going to have video. Yay or nay?
So mostly yay. There's probably a couple of genres where people are listening for the stories. And if there isn't an additional video to go along with it, it may not matter, or they can use a tool later on to make an accompanying video and put it up that way. So a face recording video may not be as important, but definitely for most areas, it's going to be important.
Let's get meta. So we're doing video and audio right now, obviously audio, but we're doing video too.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not? Right? It's on Zoom or whatever platform you're using. And if it's already capturing it, why not just capture it? It feels like, though, when you don't do that, you're just letting a resource go that you could use for something else, even if you don't have plans right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and coming from a sales perspective and just a connection perspective, I love using video because I can see how people are reacting. I can see if things are landing. You're nodding. I know you're understanding.
Yeah, sure.
I enjoy video because it's more like a conversation with someone versus a phone call that might not go the same way and you can't read those signals. So I'm a huge fan of it.
What are we going to do with it? Because I feel like the people listening to this podcast are probably on board with video. But what's the justification? What are we going to do with it? What do we currently do with it? Where do you see it going in the future?
So video, and now I'll dive a tiny bit into content with the video. With SEO, if you are doing a podcast to try to get across content for your company, meet people for your company, get across ideas, talk to customers, the SEO tie-in of video is fantastic, especially if you're putting that video on something like YouTube that's going to play with Google because they're the same.
Yeah.
And then you're going to bump that search up. If you have a post that is hanging out on page 2 or 3, now with the infinite scroll, people might be going a little further, then you can go ahead and attack that keyword in a video, even in a podcast with one question, clip it. Sure. Put it up, and then have your results come up higher because now you have a video on the topic as well.
Right. And video clips play so much better into social too. Taking LinkedIn promo clips. Great. Sometimes I've seen thousands. I think the other day we saw one that had 41,000 impressions, I think, or something like that. And that wasn't the episode itself. That was the video clip on LinkedIn. So
exactly.
It's like that's significant, right? That's not 12 likes. That's a significant amount of people who've seen that. And it's not necessarily included in the stats for the downloads. So maybe this gets in even to our statistics conversation. Where are we going with that? Are we going to start seeing actual tracking?
With video in the long run, I should hope so. With the micro clips and things that go on social, it's going to be dependent on however it's tracked through the platforms. It's not necessarily going to tie back into the podcast itself, but it's meeting users where they are. You have a lot of users who may be glancing at their phones while they're at work, or they're sitting in a busy area and they don't want to put headphones in. And when we do those micro clips from podcasts with the words across the bottom of the screen, they don't have to do anything. They can get the gist of it without actually turning up their volume or playing it. And people like that. They like to be able to look at their phone and watch something and not have it be a big thing. Yeah.
Sometimes if I'm at home and it's late, I can't really turn up the volume. I don't have my AirPods nearby. Don't want to disturb other people who might be trying to get to sleep. Be great to be able to, watch that video and just see some of the words that are happening and decide if I want to save it for later.
Exactly. I mean, I watched the most news of my entire life when I had my first kiddo, because there was a 24-hour news station that had closed captioning. So I used to watch that when I didn't want to wake him up.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Closed captioning. So you were very well informed that particular year.
I was so well informed. I knew everything that was going on in San Antonio.
Right. Oh, good. And next time doesn't have to be next week. Life's too short, and we have way too much to talk about. Find show notes full of takeaways, lessons, and links at creatingthegreatestshow.com. For more information on launching your own podcast or working with us to produce your existing show, come on down to the big tent at ringmaster.com. Until then, friends, whatever you do, do it with all your might. Work at it, if necessary, early and late, in season and out of season, not leaving a stone unturned and never deferring for a single hour that which can be done just as well now. P.T. Barnum.